Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me now? Good, 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 good. All right. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I'm trying to fix the the setup here, and I was trying to fix the sound with this headset. But then I figured out that I was not receiving any input from it. So, well, thanks for your patience. All right, so how are you doing, guys? So let me say hi to everyone. Wiz, April, Larry, Hyperspeed, Joe, Sven, Ale, EA, Salman, Katrina, Patrick. How everyone? Hi, Rael. Hello, Moni. All right, so thank you guys for joining. Hey, Aldo, Alberto, Tian. So thank you guys for joining. I know today was horrible, super choppy price action on the indices. As you can see here, we were inside of the 5 minute opening range for a long time. I mean, probably all the way to 11 in the morning. Uh, so if you are following my playbook is identify a trend or direction on the indices, then looking for the names that are following the indices, then looking for the one with relative strength or relative weakness, and then looking for the one with similar key levels. So probably today you didn't take any trade, or you got caught inside of this range, right? So uh, let me know in the chat how you did today. If you took any trades, if you were following our playbook, if you were trying something different, how did you go today? Because even or took a lot of them. Yeah. So even if you are, I mean, if you were following my playbook, I mean that was awful. So you didn't actually took anything because the indices were not showing any sign of direction. So probably you didn't take anything. But let's go to the names, because some of the names, or most of the names, they show some sort of place. Again, I I didn't like I didn't like any of the plays, because again, I like to follow the indices as some sort of confirmation or confluence, let's say. But anyways, so let's take a look to the names, and let's see what happened here. So for example, here we had Apple. So as we said, indices were just chopping inside this 5 minute opening range for a long time this morning. However, Apple was showing very weak, right? So after this break with some strength of the 5 minute opening range low of the day, right here at 946, we tried to hold this 5 minute opening range low, but then we broke again. So if you draw this order block here again, do you remember how I like to draw order blocks? So it's not a random opposite close candle, or it's not just a green candle here. It's the one that actually moved the price. It worked as a pivot here, so price actually bounce a little bit, took the 5 minute opening range low, and then it came back again. All right, so once we broke these, what was happening on the indices? Well, the indices were just again, if you take this break, 953, what was happening on the indices, 953. Indices were actually trying to bounce from low of the day. All right. So this opposite move from Apple and QQQ was telling you something, right? That was telling you that Apple was having a relative weakness, So just write down this kind of behavior, write down those words. So if indices are moving in one direction, they were trying to move to the upside, and Apple was trying to go to the downside. Well, that's relative weakness, right? So once we have relative weakness here, every move to the downside on the indices should, again, I mean, we should not be expecting anything from the indices. But if you were expecting something here, you can see this retest of this order block, previous low of the day. All right, previous low of the day, order block. Also, it was this previous day low, and it was below this 5-minute opening range. So there were a lot of confluences showing you weakness on this name. So if you took a trade like here, you had your risk at the top of this order block or the top of these retesting candles here, and you should be aiming at least to this 210. So if you were aiming to this 210, it was a 1 to 2 point something risk reward ratio trade, and it went all the way down to here. So maybe you could have here a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. So anyone took Apple trades here? I want to read your comments on the chat. The people high or low near the key levels, exactly. Andy, Tesla trades. Rael was not supposed to trade and took 2 losses. AMD. All right. So no Apple trades for anyone today. Well, this was looking very weak. So as you can see here, it rejected previous day close. This 212.32 that was previous day close here. So once it rejected this hard, you can notice that you can notice the weakness here, right? So once we broke the opening price, 5-minute opening range, and also this previous day low, this was those were a lot of signals about weakness here. However, well, for some reason Apple just recovered. And what happened later in the day? Well, later in the day, the indices were showing some strength now. So here it's when you start looking for some strength on the indices. Right here, 11 in the morning. I'm not sure if we have news or something, but as you can see here, this Apple name was actually following the same movement than the indices, right? So this bounce from low of the day to almost high of the day. It took 2 hours, right? It was a slow grind, but it was following now the indices. So once we had this break and retest of this pre-market high, 1-minute opening range, and it was following the same direction than the indices, maybe you could take a trade right here. I know it's later, it's late in the morning, it's out of our trading hours, but I want you to notice this behavior, right? So right here, 10:30, something happened here, and this name started recovering, but it was the same thing here on the indices. 10:30 in the morning, something happened, maybe news, Trump doing something, Elon, or I don't know, but it started this recovery and this uptrend here. So 11 in the morning, we actually broke pre-market high, 1 minute opening range high. So we had this break and retest of pre-market high. And if you were aiming to high of the day, well, you got this 1 to 3 risk reward trade. Anyone took any of them? I don't think so, right? Yeah, also with this ugly price action, probably by 11 in the morning, you were already exhausted. All right, so let's go to AMD. So what's going on with this AMD name? I want to show you this. So why is this yellow box here, Neto? Okay, well, this yellow box here, it's the gap between it's the gap on the daily chart between Tuesday and Wednesday. So we gap up here. Uh, so this is this yellow box. It's the gap on the daily chart. So once we entered on this gap, it was kind of expected to to fill the gap and maybe have continuation to the upside, but we had a retest of this 114.45. So why is this a key level? Well, this is the daily chart, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 15 touches on this key level 114.45. This is a strong key level on the daily chart, and as you can see, it's kind of a pivot. It's a local pivot here, so it was support to resistance, and now we are breaking this. So now we have officially a higher high. All right, and on the daily. Just if you are not following what I'm saying here, we have officially this was a higher low, and now we are having a higher high. All right, so what can we expect here? Well, I will think that maybe we will touch or fill this gap like here, and then we will go to the upside. That's my thesis. I mean, it's not my plan, but it's my thesis, right? So once we have a higher low and now we have a higher high here, so it's expected maybe this even something like this, right? Even something like this, like filling these two gaps and then a bounce. I mean that's also market structure, right? So what we don't want, it's a lower high, right? Because this is changing the structure of the structure of this. So probably we will have something like this. I don't think it's gonna fill this gap, but it's just a feeling, right? So I think it's gonna fill this gap here, and then it's gonna continue because this 114.45, it's, you can see it has been a magnet for some time. Actually, can you see here? I mean, it's a strong key level here from back to 2023. So, well, I think that's what is going to happen, but let's see what happens here. So this yellow box was, as I said, the gap of the daily chart. So as you can see here, AMD was also looking with relative weakness, right? Relative weakness here. So it actually went below the 5-minute opening range and also broke the previous day low. And we had this attempt to reclaim this previous day low. And after these attempts and this rejection here, I will take a trade here thinking that it's gonna fill the gap, or at least it's gonna come to for this key level, right? So again, it's not magic. If you just zoom out, look left, this 114.45, it's gonna be kind of obvious for you. So, but anyways, if you were looking this trade from here, this retest of previous day low, and you were looking for a for the at least the first target will be this pre-market low or low of the day, and just this drop, it was a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. So anyone took AMD today? Alex took AMD, stopped me out, and then work. Where did you take AMD, Alex? Talk to me. Mr. Han, so you are mainly drawing only daily levels? Basically, yes. I'm drawing the previous highs and lows of on the daily chart, and then I go to the 15-minute chart and I look back a few days back for key levels. Yeah, Alex. I mean, let me know where you took this trade here, because it can you see something that I want you to notice is how many attempts here, to reclaim previous day low, and it just couldn't. And when these tried to come all the way here, strong rejection. So this could be, even if you took it like here on the next candle, right? Even if you took it like here on the next candle, it was a 1 to 2.4 risk reward ratio trade. So this was amazing. And also look at the price action here, right? So maybe you didn't even cut or trim your position here. So if you took it all the way down to this 114.45, it was an amazing trade, even if you had a late entry here. So let's say that you took your trade on the second candle after the retest here, looking at this rejection of this previous day low. If you took it like here, it was a 1 to 4, almost 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade here. And to low of the day, it was a 1 to 2.2 risk reward rate. Alex, 956. Retest 116.37. Yeah, so you took your trade here and you were stop out right here, right? So maybe, Alex, maybe just maybe, I know this is hindsight, so it's 956. So if you enter here, yeah, your risk maybe was here, right? Like this. Yeah, if you had your risk right here, maybe you were stop out on this. And look at this. I mean, it will be a shame. It will be a shame if you were stop out like here. When index is pumping, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, here today was not a day for our playbook. If you are the one following, if you are following my playbook, like trading with the indices, today was not a day to trade, because all this consolidation is also consolidation on the indices. So yeah, this pumping here, breaking the 5-minute opening range. Yeah, you got scared. Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine. All right. So this is the only trade that I will say that happened today on AMD. Later on the day, it has been dropping again, trying to recover this pre-market low, but nothing too obvious here. Nothing. Hey boys, how you doing? All right, so let's go to the next one. Amazon. All right. Okay, so again, Amazon was kind of tricky today. We have been we have been, look at this, we have been dropping here. So right for the market to open, it started dropping hardly. So if you have this kind of price action right for the open, well, it's kind of obvious what's gonna happen, right? It's gonna be weak. So right here, this first attempt, this is the opening price. So this is the opening price. If you watch something like this is extremely weakness, right? So it's not even reclaiming the opening price. It's not even reclaiming the opening price. And if you are looking for price action before before market to open, this was a nice order block here, right? Can you see it's price is dropping here? You have an opposite closing candle, move the price to the upside, and then it drops hardly. All right, so if you have an order block here drawn, you will say, oh, after this rejection, this is a nice move to the downside. It will take long for you, but I mean, this was kind of the very first opportunity here. I'm not even gonna say like, oh, okay, well, you should take it because it was like 9:35. So 5 minutes in the market. I don't consider it's a nice way to open the market. But if you are looking for too much of weakness here, I mean, this could be an opening play, right? I don't like opening plays. Well, I don't like any more opening plays because last year, the Neto that you knew last year, it's another version of trader. Last year, I would take this 9 times out of 10. However, yeah. However, well, we had this pre-market low. We had this pre-market low, and with this retest here, what was happening on the indices? Well, indices were pumping, right? I mean, QQQ was actually rejecting the 5 minute opening range high, but SPY was actually breaking it aggressively, right? So these, but look at this. I want to show you this. So look the size of these candles here and look the size of the aggressive move here. So these two candles here are nothing similar to these two. So what is this showing you? That this is relative weakness, right? The move on SPY or the move on QQQ, even when it's super aggressive and it's actually reclaiming the high of the day on both indices, here is not even, well, it's, I mean, it's close, but it's not that close. So now you have what do we have here? Well, what do we have here, guys? What is this? Type on the chat. What is this? I still don't read anything on the chat. Lower highs, exactly, Ale. So this is lower highs, right? Can you see how this move is exhausting? The buyers are actually exhausted here. So what this is showing you? Well, this is showing you weakness. So after we had this retest here, and let's say that you open your trade at the next candle. Let's say next candle here, it's retest here, next candle is going to the downside, so you open your trade right here and you are aiming to low of the day. So it took some time, from 10:03 to 10:30, so it took 30 minutes to hit the goal. But look at this, I mean, it actually made it. And the good thing is that right here at this retest, what is this, Ale? What is this? It's a lower high, right? It's a lower high. So we are actually doing lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So this is showing me weakness. So after this, I will be like extremely confident that this price is gonna drop. Lower high, yeah, exactly. It kind of broke the trend line I drew. Yeah, probably. So this is the only opportunity that I actually saw here, because later on the day, I mean, even if you had like let's say an order block here, uh, I don't know, like maybe these rejections. Well, again, these rejections, what are them? Lower highs, lower highs. So what are we expecting here? Lower lows. So if you have another trade like right here, let's say on this candle here, well, the thing is that now your risk is a lot, right? But if you have too low of the day here, well, if you have too low of the day here, even when with this huge risk here, it was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade with almost no drawdown here. So you had two opportunities to trim at your target here. So, well, this is how you read intraday price action, right? I know this is not aligned to the indices, but I want you to be aware of these kind of moves, right? So again, price starts dropping right after the market to open, like 1 hour after market open. Then it opens strong, move to the downside, tries to recover opening price, rejects opening price here. What's happening here? So it's lower highs, lower highs. So these are all signs of weakness. Anyone have a question about what we are saying right now? Let me say, is it the retest of 934 order block? This green candle, this is not the order block. I mean, you don't want to consider this green candle as your trigger to draw the order block. But this one, I mean, this is kind of a downtrend here, and this green candle this green candle here, it's making price to go all the way to here, and then it drops. But this candle here, it's the one that actually moved the price. So this is your order block. And then let me tell you something. So then we kind of try to recover here. So uh you are having let's say a mini uptrend. And what happens here, you have an opposite candle again right at the same levels, and it moves the price. So this is your confirmation of a strong order block, because price is actually moving to the opposite side. All right, all right. Okay, and that's all I saw on Amazon. I hope you had. Look at these candles. I'm not sure. Let me take a look to Webull if we have these kind of candles here, because they are awful. What was going on the indices here? Nothing special. Let me go to Amazon here on the 1 minute. What time they were? 12, 19. Well, for some reason, these candles here, they are they are like that on Webull. 1290, yeah, 12. What is this? 1219, 1242. I don't know why these candles have these wicks like this, but in my Webull, they are just like that. Also, this huge candle, huge wick on this candle, it's also shown on my Webull. So uh, when I'm in doubt about a candle, I try to compare to my broker. So now I have two sources of information here. So these three huge wicks are real. Something happened here. I don't know what happened here. And if you look at the volume of this, look at the volume of this. It something happened here. I don't know what happened. Something happened here. I don't know. News. China said something. I don't know. All right. Uh, Mina, all brokers use the same data source for real-time data. Ah, okay. Well, sometimes, Mina, sometimes um, I see difference between my Webull and TradingView. That's why I kind of consider like two different sources. But if you say they are like the same package, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. How would you double check or verify uh, this kind of candles? Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. So in Mexico today is Teachers Day. I'm not sure about here on the United States, but in Mexico it's Teachers Day. And for all of you that don't know, I've been teaching for a long time. I mean, on my past life, on my past life, I used to be a rescue crew team member of the Red Cross. In Mexico, the Red Cross is it's the paramedics and also the rescue crew. So so I used to be on the rescue crew. I really enjoyed helping people on the rescue team, and I used to go to the car crashes and help release people that they were trapped into the accidents with the use of mechanic tools, and that's where I started teaching because I was really good because on the city that I was living in my hometown Monterrey, they I'm not proud of this, but they have the worst uh, traffic accident ratio per vehicle. So they have like a lot of car accidents every day, and they have the most or the worst rate about people trapped into the cars with car accidents. So I really I really became an expert like really fast. And I took a few certifications here in the States, in Atlanta, and then I went with the FDNY with the firefighters in New York, and then I took another certification in Toronto, in Canada. So I became a teacher like 20 years ago, maybe. I was a rescue instructor. So I have been a non-conventional teacher for long. So thank you very much, Gabby. Uh, all right, so back to business. I'm sorry, it's just me. I like to share personal stuff. Maybe I need to stop. All right, so here, guys, Nvidia had the worst price action ever because it was actually ranging below the actual initial range for of the 1 minute and the 5 minute opening range. So I want to show you something here. Okay, So first, first let me pull the indices here so you can see. All right. So this was the only one that was actually following the indices closely. If you can see here, you can actually see, let me put them like this. All right. Can you see they look like twins? Well, how do you, I mean, twins are two people, but how do you say when they are like three, uh, triplets? Yeah, thank you, Michael. So they look like triplets. Can you see? So this Nvidia was the only name across the board actually following the indices. So here you can see that we had this break below the 5-minute opening range when the indices had the same break. And then we had this retest of the 5-minute opening range. And what was happening? Look at this. What was happening on the indices? Well, they rejected opening price here, and they rejected this key level on the 15-minute chart here. So this I will consider the first entry signal for Nvidia. So here, look at this, and this is tricky. I'm not gonna tell you that this could be a winner trade, because at least you should be aiming to here, right? This was a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade, but if you only take this week here, it was a 1-to-2.2 risk reward ratio trade. I know this happened too fast. And probably you didn't take anything if you take it here, but I want to leave it like here because this is 84% rule. This is the 84% rule acting nicely here. So, all right, well, we didn't take any trims here and it actually stopped out in this candle. All right, well, what's going on here? Indices went to the top of the range. But what was going on with Nvidia? Well, Nvidia was actually below the top of the range. It was inside of the middle or right at the middle of the range, right? So this is telling me, all right, weakness here. Weakness is here. So once we had this reclaim to the downside of the 5-minute opening range, this was actually the same entry point than the previous one, right? Can you see here? So if you were watching closely this, maybe you say, well, I could take this 84% rule. So if you open another position here, same entry point, same risk, same target, well, let's say now you have this target here. This was a 1-to-4.12 risk reward ratio trade. But if you say, well, now it's not going to happen again, I'm going to take profits right here, at least to trim some here. So this was a 1-to-2.2 risk reward ratio trade. But if you were aiming to here, this was a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade. But again, if you were not a happy trigger here, what happened 3 candles later? You were stopped out again. So you better were happy trigger here. All right. So that was second chance. Second chance. Hey, Neto, what's going on here? Lower highs again at the same key levels. Is this an 84% rule? Well, I don't know if it is how you call this the triplet. I don't know. I mean, I know how to call the twin, but I don't know how to call the triplet. But it's the exact same thing here, guys. Can you see? Lower highs here, weakness. So what's going on? What's going on indices? Lower highs right here, lower highs, consolidation, lower highs. What's going on here? So is this something that I can actually follow? Well, look at this. Right when the indices start to drop, it's our drop here. And what do you know? I mean, it's same entry point here, same entry point here, your same risk. That it's not a coincidence, it's the top of this candle. And if you were aiming right at the same thing that the first one, it was a 122.2. But if you were aiming to the low of the day, yeah, low of the day, what do you have? 1 to 4 risk reward ratio trade. But now, I mean, guys, after two opportunities, you needed to be happy trigger here, right? You needed to be happy trigger here because, I mean, come on, it's messing with you in this range, right? It's messing with you in this range. So what you need to do, support resistance, support resistance. So you play with those levels, support resistance. So let me go again to the chat. Ale, you took both, and maybe you were stopped on the first one, but the second one you made something. Hyperspeed, Maestro Neto. Thank you. Still saving lives of traders. I don't know. Andy, someone copies spies from where? Yeah, I know. Can you see this is the only name across the board that was actually following the same direction than the indices. Ale was hard to take 955 before candle close because QQQ was not showing a decisive red candle at that minute. Yeah, I know. Rael, I took that Nvidia trade 955. 955, okay. But it reversed immediately, yes. I did see the 84% rule, but couldn't take any more trades for today. That's fine. Patrick, you are a good teacher. Thank you. I took the 84% trade, 2-hour trade. Yeah, that's nice. Gavi 942. 942. Well, let me tell you, Gavi, that's a breakout trade. I hope you made some money there on that on this drop, but that's not a break and retest. That's a breakout trade. Dian, I took Nvidia calls first position 950 out of your playbook 950. What? What is this, Dian? And then a second position 1203 longs. Yeah, you are taking the 1 minute opening range high, right? Longs, obviously. I hope. Yeah, in your playbook. Yeah, so that was the break and retest of this 1 minute opening range. I mean, I would like more displacement here, but look at the indices. Now the indices are pumping, and that's, pushing the other names. Ale, I closed 84% on Nvidia early because I wasn't sure about the indices. Yes. Gabi, because lost order block in the 15 minute. Yes, okay. Second position. All right. All right. So we are on the same channel. So I'm very glad we are already understanding, and you guys are watching everything that we say here, but on the live market. I love it. I love it. So be patient. Be patient with your skills. Be patient. Manage your risk. Remember, capital preservation is the name of the game. So manage your risk and show up every day. This is a practice skill. This is a practice skill. You are not gonna develop your skill watching videos. I mean, you will learn a lot of stuff, right? But you are not gonna develop your skill. You can learn stuff, but you are not developing your skill until you show up every day and look at the live market. So you don't need to take a trade. You don't need to take a trade. You can paper trade, you can take notes, but you need to be watching the charts live. So you see, okay, well, this is retesting my key level. What's going on with the indices? Oh, the indices are going the same way or are not going the same way. So there's some confluence or there's some divergence. So this is relative strength, this is relative weakness. So the more practice you have, the easier it's gonna be. All right, this is not something that you develop while looking or watching videos. This is something that you develop looking at the live market. Okay, guys, so I just want to tell you that you don't need to take the trade. You don't need to take the trade, but you need to watch it live. You need to watch it while every candle is starting and closing, and you need to identify price action when you are looking at the chart. Look if the candle is struggling to the upside and having an aggressive downside, or the opposite, if it's struggling to the downside but having an aggressive bounce, because that's how you start looking at the price action, and that's how you are starting to understand how buyers and sellers are fighting every candle. All right, so that's just my 2 cents for your process. um, what do you think about trading SPY and QQQ only? Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's great. I like to look. I like to look at the to watch at the tech names, because I can have SPY and QQQ as a reference for my trade. But when I'm trading SPY, I need to watch like 10 different names. Yeah, so when I'm trading SPY, I need to have, I'm sorry, I need to have my watch list completely open. This one. Why? Because here, yeah, when I'm trading SPY, I need to have all my board here, right? Oh, what's going on? Why? Because everything is moving SPY, right? Everything is moving SPY. So I need to be ready if Apple starts dropping, or if Nvidia starts doing something, or if Tesla wants to drop or go higher. So the reason for me it's easier to trade the tech names is because I can have the indices as a reference. But if I'm trading the indices, I need to have a lot of names watching so I can understand what it's doing. Also, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But also, when you are trading the indices, sometimes it's easier to trade reversals instead of trading instead of trading continuation. So again, it's just a different style. It's a different strategy. So whatever you feel confident, just remember, I mean, there's no need to risk your capital. Backtest first, develop a strategy, an edge, and then put it to play. um, Dion, I know that the first trade was a reverse trade, but the PA told me that the liquidity is there. Yeah, I mean, again, I like to play only one playbook, but that's me, and that's because I later need to explain what I did to you guys. So I'm avoiding to trade breakouts. I'm avoiding to trade rejections. I'm avoiding to trade reversals because they are different and harder to explain. So I'm feeling more comfortable with this break and retest and continuation trades. I think my risk I'm taking more care of my risk, and it's easier to identify when the trade is not working anymore, or if it's gonna work, right? So again, it depends of your personality, your style, and whatever you want or you like to trade. Um, no Tesla on my fishing. Yeah, there's. Oh well, it's a mistake. It's because I have two Microsofts, but it there it is. Yeah, usually these are the names that I'm watching. It's Amazon and AMD. You know, those are kind of my favorites. Then I have Nvidia and Tesla. Apple for reference. I don't trade too much of Apple, and now Microsoft has been moving really well. Uh, and this Microsoft chart sometimes moves to Meta and Palantir. So yeah, Microsoft, Meta, Palantir, and Google. It and Google with the L at the end. I don't know why, but I mean I like this more than the other GOOG, and it's not the OG. I mean, I like more this one, but these are these are more like for reference than for trading. These are the four that I like the most: Amazon, AMD, Nvidia, and Tesla. And again, Apple as a reference, and then I have this switch chart for for looking to the other names. Uh, Ale, I spent a few months trying to figure out a working strategy on QQQ and SPY and funded account. Frankly, it takes a lot more time when there's no one to share experience with you. It's always nice to be in a community, right? Uh, Faisal, Microsoft. Yeah, I'll go to Microsoft in a few minutes. Do you ever watch SMH when you trade semiconductors? No, I don't. So you didn't take the swing, guys. I have different accounts. I have my day trading account, I have my swing trading account, and I have my long term portfolio account. Right now, I told you a few weeks ago, my swing trading account, I took that funds for a project that I'm developing here in Houston. I'm developing a housing project. So I took my funds for that purpose. So I'm not taking any swings now. Um, your view on UNH? Uh, I'm super worried because we have UNH here at home. So we are actually looking to switch plans. If you, if anyone knows something about that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know about the fundamentals of United Health. You work for United Health. Well, I don't know what to say. It's they are struggling. They're struggling. I don't know if that's a buying opportunity or if it's just getting started. I mean, if the fire, it's just getting started. So let's see what happens in the next weeks. All right. So that was Nvidia, and this is another trading opportunity here for Tesla. Well, this is out of the look at this. This is out of our playbook, but I want to show you something, and this is just what we were saying a few minutes ago, right? What are you watching here? Well, you are watching lower highs. Oh, say this one, lower highs. So this name could not reclaim this opening price. I mean, it tried and got this strong rejection. Made a base here, tried again, strong reject. Well, this is not strong rejection, but can you see it's failing to reclaim this opening price, 1 minute opening range. So this will be, again, this is out of our playbook. This is out of our playbook for different reasons, right? First, because it's not following the indices. Well, it's not following the indices in some point, right? Because this is the same point here. Yeah, well, here QQQ, it means nothing here. It means nothing here, uh, unless you have something like this. Like this is your order block, like this. The whole week of this candle, of this high of the day candle. So if you have like this order block here, it's actually rejecting the 5 minute opening range. Now you can kind of understand this. Again, this is not into our playbook because we would like to have this retest down here, right? Like on at the bottom of the 1 minute, 5 minute opening range, or at the bottom of this previous day low, or here at our pre-market low. But I wanted to show you how these rejections here on the opening price, 1 minute opening range, were happening here and what was happening on the indices. So now you understand this movement, and if you are on top of the range, what are you expecting? Well, to go to the bottom of the range, right? So if you have this trade here, just to the bottom of the range, this previous day low, just to the bottom of this range, it was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. So do you guys understand this play here? And once you are here at the bottom of this range, once you broke this range here, well, your next target was this pre-market low, and if you got this was a 1 to 3.3 risk reward ratio trade. Anyone took a Tesla? Andy, I entered Tesla long 1108. Why? 1108, break and retest, Tuesday high, okay. 337.59, 337.59, okay. I got an exit 1125 here, okay. When you see the order block with this candle, right? Yeah, like something like this. Well, it actually just came to this order block here and continued. Rejected previous day high here, where? Right here. Okay. This 1122. Yeah, 1125. Yeah, 1125. Okay. I see you. Okay. Four down close candles. Since it's late morning, I thought momentum will stop. Yes. And price will reverse and consolidate more, and I could re-enter later. Neto, could you discuss if my reasoning to exit is valid here? It completely is. I mean, I wouldn't expect what happened later. I mean, this pumping. Look at the indices. I mean, the first 2 hours, wrenching, and suddenly something happened here, right? Like 11. So, but the first hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, they were ranging. So I will take the same decision that you. I mean, I wouldn't expect it that like suddenly it started like going, like higher and higher and higher. Uh, Probably I would expect for the reaction, but not trying to anticipate the reaction. But I would expect for the reaction. Uh, Later I entered Tesla long 1143, and that's pretty nice. 4 hour. That's great. Yeah, and this is a great example, Andy. So if you don't feel comfortable with the price action, you can always cut your trade and wait for the next opportunity. I mean, if you are like, okay, well, this could happen. I mean, let's see reaction here. What happened? Oh, it broke. Well, I mean, leave for the next opportunity, right? Because if this were to reverse here, I mean, you will be stuck here on the 5 minute opening range for the whole day again. So yeah, so that, I mean, your reasoning about closing your trade was just fine. Boyd, you enter 10:05, exit 10:21, 10:05. I'm assuming long. 10:05 here. All right. All right. Well, that was a nice one. Yeah, calls. All right. And why you closed it here? 10:21. When you said, yeah, 10:21 here on this rejection of the opening price, 1 minute opening range. Yeah, that good good call here. Good call here. Do you remember, guys, what I told you yesterday about elevator down, escalator up? So that's why you need to be like very, very aware of reaction on the key levels. The reaction of the key level. So if you are looking at this and it's struggling, well, you don't want to wait for all this drop, right? Like, I mean, it's like, okay, well, strong reaction here. Let's wait for the next one. Well, the next one was green, but didn't reclaim the whole level. Well, you need to be very careful because that's showing that the buyers step in, but they didn't reclaim the previous level. So this is, I mean, even with this small green candle here, it's not showing buying power. It's just showing some sort of reaction. And the sellers, what did the sellers did? The next 15 minutes, they drop it. They drop it. All right. Okay. So let's see. I was looking at this for Microsoft here. So here, let me show you what I was looking here. I don't want to look to the indices too much because as we said, they were doing anything for the first 90 minutes. But here we opened to the upside. We were kind of holding this pre-market high, this 451.85 pre-market high. So we were holding here. We broke to the upside again, but then it reversed. But this is what I want to show you, right? I mean, once you start breaking levels, you need strong reactions. Strong reactions. So here it never closed below this level. Oh, well, let me talk about this opening here. Okay, so we had this break and retest of this pre-market high. I know it went lower than the pre-market high, but when it reclaimed, look what was happening on the indices. They were like bouncing from the bottom of the 5 minute opening range, and here it's bouncing from the previous day low, and it was kind of the same thing for QQQ. So here I like it, this one, and also because Microsoft already broke the 450 key level. Remember yesterday or 2 days ago, I took a Microsoft trade looking for the 450. Well, this is closing above the 450. So this price action defending to be above the 450, I really like it. So I will open a trade right here above the pre-market high. My risk will be this bottom of these candles here, and I will be looking for this 453.55. This is a key level on the daily chart, and this one was a 122.66 risk reward ratio trade. Hey Neto, I will chicken out with this with this strong rejection and drop. Yes, maybe, but I mean, again, if you were looking for a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, I mean, you got two opportunities here. So the top of this candle and then the second candle here. And when you see a candle like this with with a long wick to the upside, and so this is very neutral, but I mean, this is just showing you that sellers step in right here, 453.50. Yes, 453.50. So sellers step in, so you should trim your position here for two reasons. The first reason is because you already are 1 to 2 reward ratio trade here, but the second one is this reaction here, and I didn't watch how these candles develop. But I'm assuming that this was like boom, in 1 second, right? That's how it actually happened. Elevator down, escalator up. So if you manage to stay on this trade, because never closed below your stop loss level, you actually got a lot more than this. So we hit this 453.55 key level on the daily chart, and then we hit this 453.90. That's the previous day high, and look at this, it went all the way to the upside. So even here, the next key level on the daily chart was 454.42. That's a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio trade, and it went, let's say, 455. That was kind of the next level. It was a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. So if you manage to stay here on this trade, it went super good, right? So let me go to the chat. Okay, so that was Microsoft, Meta. Let's go to Palantir here. So the only thing that I saw here on Palantir was this break and retest of this 5-minute opening range, opening price. So this, I mean, this could be on different ways, right? Like right here, this is the break and retest of the 5-minute opening range, opening price. But what was happening on the indices here? So here the indices were going up aggressively, right? With this candle, they were going up aggressively. So that's what I say. Well, this is probably not like a very good opportunity here. So what about the next one? Well, the next one, it's now here rejecting this one, pre-market high, 5-minute opening range. So with this rejection here, this is something that I like. I mean, I know it's out of our playbook because we are inside of the 5-minute opening range on the indices. But here, when it's showing weakness here on the indices, then you can look for weakness here. So once you have this rejection here on these key levels, and let's say, oh, let's say that you have this order block here, maybe to here. So one attempt, two attempts, three attempts. So too many attempts to reclaim this 5 minute opening range, this opening price. So this is showing a lot of weakness here. So if you were aiming to this low of the day, this was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. If you were aiming to this pre-market low, it was a 1 to 5.5 risk reward ratio trade. So talk to me, boys, what you did. 954, 954. Okay, so here, okay, so again, it's this break and retest of this order block opening price. So 954 here. Let's say this one here. Your risk was, you sell 955. Okay, 955, 956, and 10. With this impulsive candle to the upside. All right, so kind of a break even on your last stream. Neto, because of the different ranges of the stop loss zone, I risk different amount every time, especially from the stop loss zone. Depends how big the ratio will be. What do you think about this? Well, what I would recommend is that again, take one name and get used to it. I mean, you will get to know how far or how much of a risk are you taking once you start, knowing better your names. So if you only want to risk, I don't know, like $100, $500, $1,000, whatever you want to risk, the more you trade one name, you will identify how deep of a stop loss you will need. So that comes with some experience and trading the same thing. Okay. So Boyd scale 25, 50, and 25. Yeah. So the last 25, it was break even, right? Like on this impulsive candle here. All right. Or maybe a little bit negative. Yeah, but that's a very good play, Boyd. You're very welcome, Dian. All right, guys. So that's all for me. A bit less than break even. Yeah. All right. So that's all for me. Thank you for joining. Remember that tomorrow we will have our Spanish speaking session. So if you speak Spanish, si tú hablas español, tomorrow we will have a session. Again, it's not a master class or something, but if you have any question about the break and retest strategy, I will be more than happy to answer all of your questions and just to say hi. So that's it. That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.